Hey playa, have you ever reached a crossroads with one or a few of your friends because they started to change in a negative way? Confronting friends who take on bad behaviors can be challenging, but today, me and my friend Amanda are going to talk about how to navigate through those type of situations and whether or not you should get rid of those people from your life. As you get older, you may start to notice that your longtime friends are taking on new interests and hobbies that you personally have no interest in. Sometimes those hobbies might be bad things, like cutting class, underage drinking, smoking, or bullying other kids, and those might be things you just personally do not agree with. And this may cause you to feel left out, which may or may not be a good thing, but here's what Amanda thinks.
Hey guys, my name is Amanda from the channel It's Amanda Wan. The way I started to realize that the friends that had a negative impact in my life were changing was when they started to make me feel more left out, when they started to not really give a shit about me or how I felt, and basically when they started to constantly distance themselves from me because I did not want to do necessarily everything they wanted, or I didn't want to act necessarily the way that they wanted me to act. Also, I began to notice that these friends were changing by the way that they spoke to me. They used to speak to me nicely, they used to speak to me as if they wanted to speak to me, and then I started to get the vibe that they didn't really want to, but they thought they had to, and that's basically how I noticed that they started to change, and they started to change the way that they were approaching me and seeing me as a person.
When you notice those differences causing a distance between you and your friends, it's important to talk to them about it, but don't expect them to always see what they're doing as being a problem. They may lead you to think that you're just overreacting or it's no big deal, which can cause you to question your own behavior and why you're not doing what they're doing.
There were several times where I would bring up the fact that I thought that maybe they weren't acting a certain way, or maybe they weren't being the nicest that they could be, or that they were hurting me and stuff like that. And the way that they reacted was that I was the one overreacting and I was making stuff up and I was the one who was trying to cause trouble, when in reality all I really was trying to do was bring awareness to the fact that I was being hurt and I was not feeling 100% okay with what was going on.
And that's when peer pressure starts to set in. You might start to feel like you need to change just so you don't lose your friends. But if there's something in your gut telling you not to do it, it's important to understand why you feel that way.
Sometimes I would feel like I didn't belong, I wasn't meant to be their friend, I just didn't fit in, and I always began to constantly feel like I was left out and I didn't belong there, and that I just wasn't meant to be there. Like, I literally felt left out a lot of the times. I never really felt pressured to join them when they did stuff that I didn't like, only due to the fact that I am a very, I don't know how to say it, like stubborn person, I guess. Like, if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. No one's going to force me to do it. I don't know if that's a bad thing in their eyes and that's why they didn't like me, but I did feel left out, but I wasn't going to make that feeling that I felt take over me and make me do stuff that I didn't want to do.
Sometimes people pick up bad hobbies to cope with other issues that they're dealing with in their lives, and no matter how much you try to talk to them about it, they just won't listen. And if you run into this type of situation, don't be discouraged. Remember, the most you can do is offer help and guidance. You're not responsible for anyone else changing their life.
There were times when I would say maybe like, you should do this, or maybe it would be nicer if you did this, or maybe this will make you more happy, or this is a better way to deal with these situations. But in reality, they didn't care, because when people are negative like that and when people are doing things that are negative, it's mostly because they're probably struggling with something inside, and not most of the time when you try and help someone, they don't really want to take it, not because they don't like you, not because they don't trust you, just because that's how they're feeling. So yes, there were a few times when I would try and help them or make them think differently, but it didn't really work out.
And now comes the hard part, letting go of the people that are holding you back. This might mean cutting off longtime friends that you've known forever. I know you wish things could just go back to the way that they were, but something has to change, and they probably should change under this condition.
The way I distanced myself from these negative friends was that it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of time, honestly, because once you get attached to someone, once you get close to people, you don't really want to leave them because they technically become a part of you. So basically the way to move on from someone and to distance yourself from someone is to accept it. First, you got to accept that this person is not good for you. This person is doing stuff that is not good for you. This person is hurting you. And you have to accept the fact that they don't belong in your life. And you have to find a way to move on and to let go of them. Even if they are so close to you, if you're so attached to them, you have to do this for yourself. So the number one rule or advice I would give to you when you're trying to let go or move on from someone is to accept it first, and then it will be 900 times easier.
Does that mean it's over? You can never talk to or interact with them again? Well, not exactly, but you have to be smart about how you do it. Set realistic expectations about what you're going to allow yourself to be involved in or around. Otherwise, you're just going to get pulled back into their world of negativity.
When we stopped being friends, when I cut them out of my life, there were times where they would try and come back in, and I'm a very accepting person. I'm a very forgiving person. So if I can see that they are making a change in their life and that they are serious about it, then I can accept them back in. But if I can look at their social medias, look at them on the street, and they're still doing those negative things or being negative towards people, I can't really accept them back in my life. But yes, there were several times where people would come back and they'd be like, I changed, I'm doing better in life, and I accepted them and forgave them, and they're back in my life.
What's so important to remember in this process is that you can't even begin to help someone else until you're willing to help yourself. It's the same thing as when you're on a plane and they tell you that if the masks fall, to put yours on first and then help someone else. Because when you have your mask on first, you're going to think a lot sharper, clearer, and you'll be able to make better decisions in helping others. If you're not 100% grounded in who you are and what you stand for, then you're easily going to get pulled into other people's worlds and follow along with whatever they're doing.
One piece of advice that I really want you guys to know, and I think Josh would also want you to know, is that the number one rule, the number one advice I can give you is basically to put your happiness first. Because everyone wants to make everyone else happy. Everyone wants to make their friends happy, their family happy, their girlfriend, boyfriend happy. And then they tend to forget about their own happiness. And I feel like this is a good advice for negative friendships and stuff, because you think about that person, you think about how you're going to hurt them, how it's going to hurt them to make, for you to talk to them, and it's going to make them unhappy. But you have to realize that by not doing that, you're affecting your own happiness. So you got to put your own happiness first, and that is just, it's going to be great. Once you start putting your happiness before others, you're just going to feel so much better inside, and I'm not kidding when I say that.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing your thoughts and being part of this video. So what do you guys think? Are there negative people in your life that you're finding it hard to distance yourself from? Leave your comments below and we'll talk about it.
Thank you so much, Josh, for having me on your channel. It was a great pleasure. If you want to see more videos from me and more videos that attack social issues and controversial topics, head over to my channel and hit that subscribe button.
Next, you should definitely check out the video me and Amanda did over on her channel. We talk about negative relationships and how to know when to get out of one. Go check it out, leave a comment, subscribe to her. She's awesome, guys. As always, love and peace.